Hello, this is Ilan with the Unitrust Companies in San Diego, and this is Mortgage Watch for Thursday, December 24th. Earlier this week, the National Association of Realtors released numbers that showed really good upward trends in resales of existing homes. They increased on a monthly basis. They also increased on a yearly basis from November of '08. Wall Street investors were really buoyed by this news, and the stock market continues its rise. I'd like to take a look inside this trend and see what's really driving it. Number one, home sales. It's good that the numbers are up. Obviously, about a third of these sales are based on REOs, that is, real estate owned by banks that are coming onto the market. Unfortunately, what's not being disclosed very widely is that there are about 1.7 million homes in a shadow inventory that banks continue to sit on and don't want to market. Now, this is disturbing for the following reason. A lot of first-time buyers are out there driven by the tax credit that they can get. A lot of first-time buyers have been putting in offer after offer only to be shut down. Real estate is priced cheaply enough that investors are buying it, and in many cases beating first-time buyers to the punch. And first-time buyers are out there for 5, 6, 10 months or more looking to buy homes and not being able to get them. That means there's not enough inventory on the market. And that's because the banks are sitting on it. The banks are sitting on it because they're getting buoyed by the federal government. So they don't have any real reason or incentive to get rid of these homes. The same thing is happening on Wall Street. Wall Street continues to climb, that is the stock market. But really, it's driven by the fact that the largest banks basically have free money. They're also, and they do have free money from the federal government. They're also extending some of this free money to the largest corporations. But none of this is trickling out to consumers and to small businesses. If we're going to have any kind of pullback or comeback from this recession, I believe it's going to be earmarked by small businesses being able to hire and being able to grow. The largest banks, as you recall, got free loans from the government. The federal funds rate is between 0 and 0.25%. They're lending that money out at 5 and 6% when they're lending it. So of course they're making record profits. In many cases, though, they're not lending it. They're sitting on it. And this is what's driving a lot of the problem. I think the government needs to really start leveraging these banks to start moving more of this real estate out and to take a look at what's going on Wall Street, because this liquidity-fueled rally isn't really real. You know, there was a song by Dire Straits about money for nothing and chicks for free. Well, I think that's what the banks have been getting. The largest banks, not small banks. A lot of small local banks and credit unions continue to try and lend in their community. They are being held up by regulators that are telling them not to make so many loans. So it's hard to figure out what is really the game plan here. Do we want to make loans to people and keep the economy moving, or do we want to stop lending and have things slow down to a crawl? I think that the government needs to take hands off smaller regional banks and credit unions and allow them to make wise loans based on their track record. I think the government also needs to start leaning on the larger banks to start selling more of their shadow inventory, that is real estate owned homes. Of course, it's interesting to see that a lot of these banks have started to repay the government now, which is good. The government has made money on its investments in some of these larger banks, but the banks are paying this money back because A, they don't want the government to tell them what to do, and B, they want to continue offering huge bonuses to some of their top people, which will be a lot less possible if they're still getting government funds. Now, in addition to all this, it kind of reminds me of the picture of myself posing and wanting to look my best and sucking in my gut. So when I do that and I suck in my stomach, I look like I've lost weight. But the question is, have I really lost weight or not? And this is the question that I'm asking about the larger banks and about Wall Street. Have we really lost weight or not? I think probably not, because the truth is, as I mentioned earlier, these banks have a disincentive to lend and also a disincentive to move real estate back onto the market. Now, I'm not here to be a naysayer, and I'm basically a socially liberal guy, but I think the government has got to do more to find ways to move these banks into action. The government also needs to find ways to spark small businesses to create more jobs. If we're going to get out of this recession, and I hope it's going to come in the next 6 months, It will be fueled and driven by small businesses hiring and being able to grow. And that means we need to free up money in loans to small businesses and put real estate on the market. Now, we still have a lot of good things to be thankful for, even though the economic news continues to be mixed. And I want to wish everyone a very, very happy holiday season and best wishes from all of us at Unitrust. We have a lot to be thankful for, all of us, and this is a good time of year to count our blessings. And I hope that each and every one of you will be able to spend time with family and friends during this time of year and refresh ourselves and be ready for a productive 2010. With that, I wish you well. I'll look forward to being in touch with you next week. This is Ilan Auerbach with Mortgage Watch from the Unitrust Companies in San Diego, California.